In this video, I will show you how quickly you can get started using Brainboard to build your first use case that you can scale later. So let's get started by taking a real use case. Let's say I want to create a Kubernetes cluster with all its components like networking, subnet, VPC, internet gateway, route table, and so on. Before you start, the main thing that you need to keep in mind is that in Brainboard, you build a cloud infrastructure exactly the same way you think about it. So I start first here by adding a region. So here I can pick from all the available regions in AWS, or I will use a variable that I call it region because I'm planning to deploy the same architecture into different regions. All right. Inside my region now, I will add a VPC. Start by searching for the VPC here, and I will add it to my region. So I add the VPC here. And you can see as I add the resources into the design area, you can see the Terraform code generated on the fly for me. For this VPC, I have all the configuration parameters that are supported by both Terraform and AWS. So I can easily configure this VPC. I add here the networking for the VPC. I add /16 network. And inside my VPC, I want to have two availability zones. So I just pick the first one here and choose from the availability zones for this specific region. So here, okay, I'm using a variable, so I can use a variable as well. Let's call it AZ1. And I will add a second availability zone here, and I will call it, I will use its value as var AZ2. So now I will add my subnets. So I just search for subnet here, and I will add it into the first availability zone here. So, and Brainboard actually automatically detect the relationship between the resources. So it detected that I added the resource, the subnet inside this VPC and inside this availability zone, AZ1. And I will do the same for the second one. I'm going to create here, I add it into the second availability zone, and Brainboard detected automatically the second availability zone. I go ahead and configure for this subnet its network range. For this one, I'm going to take a 24 range. And for the second one, I do the same here and configure it for the second range. Okay. You can see here the Terraform code generated when I build a cloud infrastructure, and I can keep going. Now I want to add, for example, an internet gateway. So for my internet gateway, I just drag and drop it here, and Brainboard detects that it has been added inside the VPC, and this is all I need to add here for the internet gateway. Now I need for my cluster a route table. I want to add a route table, then route the traffic into the subnets. So I'm gonna I add here the route table, and in the route table configuration, I can say I want this route table to be connected to the internet gateway. So I just search here in the internet gateway. Actually, Brainboard now knows the resources that are present in the design area and suggest the most accurate parameter to use. So for example, for the Internet Gateway ID, it suggested the Internet Gateway ID that I pick here. And I want to open the traffic, all the traffic coming from the Internet Gateway. All right. So now I add a route table association inside my subnet for this to route it to the Internet Gateway in both subnets. And when I open the configuration, so Brainboard suggests the route table ID because it understands that the only resource that is accurate in the design to add here is the route table ID. And I will do the same for the second one here. All right. And now I can keep going. I will add the EKS cluster. I have the configuration of the EKS cluster here. And I have in this configuration menu all the parameters that I need to fill. So I call it onboarding, and I see that I need a role here you can see this suggestion is empty. So I go ahead and add search for IAM role. So I add the role here and add its policy. So for the policy, let's just add the EKS here. So now when I open the configuration of EKS, as I have the new resource, which is IAM role, now Brainboard has the context of the information and suggests this parameter to link it, to put it into the role IRM. So, and for the VPC, the mandatory parameter is the subnet IDs. I can here select from the subnet that I have. I pick the first one and take the second one as well. So, and here quickly, I built the first version of my infrastructure. I have the Terraform code here, and I can validate this code. I can either run the plan, so this plan will create an execution environment and run actually the Terraform init, then the Terraform plan, and it will have the output of the execution. And if there is anything that I need to fix, I have the feedback loop here that I will fix quickly and run the plan again. So I realized that I have an error because I created a variable called region for which I didn't actually create the variable. I go ahead and create a variable here that I call it region here of type string, and I give it the value US East 1. And the second availability zone AZ2 of type string and 1B. And now I will run the plan again. All right, I have the output of the execution and everything looks good from at least the Terraform point of view. So the configuration is correct. And I can keep building the cloud infrastructure. Before I go, I create the first version of my infrastructure here, that I call it version 1. This native versioning actually allows you to navigate the history of the infrastructure in a graphical way. Of course, you have the possibility to create a pull request if you want to push the code, the generated code into your repo and trigger your own pipeline. So you just need to select your repo here, select the branch or the folders, and also you can select or unselect the files that you want to push in the pull request and do the pull request. This is, till now, it's a simple way to build a cloud infrastructure and generate the Terraform code and do the plan to validate. The second part of Brainboard is the CI/CD that allows you to check the infrastructure for security, for cost, for policies, naming conventions, and so on, in a way that allows you to make sure that the infrastructure respects your rules before you deploy. The CI/CD part is another topic that I will share it with you in another video to give you more details on how to configure it and trigger it either manually or via the API. And you have the possibility even to configure the drift detection for your infrastructure. All right, so that was a quick video to show you how you can easily and quickly build cloud infrastructures within Brainboard and how either to check it within Brainboard or do the pull request to push it into your repo. I hope you enjoyed it and find it useful, and see you in the next video with more details about the CI/CD, about the templating, and different aspects of the infrastructure as code.